3 months had passed since Arlen's expedition began, and the children had heard nothing. Worry gnawed at them, growing stronger with each passing day. Lyle, now the de facto leader, struggled to keep everyone hopeful. They rationed their dwindling supplies, scavenged for food, and took on any odd jobs they could find. But work was scarce, and the surrounding areas had long been picked clean. One day, a boy named Finn returned with a chicken. "I found work today," he said, holding the bird up triumphantly. But his story didn't sit right with Mira, the oldest girl. "Where did you really get that?" she asked, suspicion heavy in her voice. Finn avoided her gaze. "What does it matter? We haven't had meat in a month," Mira persisted, and under her scrutiny, Finn confessed. "I stole it," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. The revelation sparked an argument. "Arlen never taught us to steal," Mira shouted, her eyes blazing with anger and hurt. The others looked on, torn between their hunger and their principles. "But we're starving!" Finn shot back, tears of frustration welling up. "What choice do we have?" In the end, they cooked the chicken, tears mingling with the smoky air. They ate in silence, the food a bitter reminder of their desperation. As the months dragged on, their situation only worsened. One evening, while Mira was alone at home, 2 drunken thugs barged in. "Hey there, little lady," one of them slurred, his breath reeking of alcohol. "Why don't you come spend some time with us?" Panic surged through Mira. She tried to resist, but they overpowered her, their rough hands tearing at her clothes. Just then, Finn, returning from the woods with an axe, heard her screams. He burst into the house, fury driving him forward. "Get away from her!" he yelled, swinging the axe wildly. He missed, and one thug lunged at him, but Finn was quick. The thug tripped, and in that moment, Finn struck, severing an artery. Blood sprayed as the thug collapsed, gasping. The other thug, enraged, charged at Finn, kicking him hard in the chest. Finn fell, gasping for breath, pain racking his body. The thug loomed over him, ready to finish the job, but Mira, driven by a fierce protectiveness, grabbed a knife and leaped onto his back. She plunged the blade into his neck, and he crumpled to the ground. Finn lay there, gasping, blood trickling from his mouth. Mira knelt beside him, tears streaming down her face as she tried to comfort him. But it was too late. Finn's breathing slowed, then stopped. Mira cradled his lifeless body, her sobs the only sound in the room. When the others returned, they found Mira sitting in a daze, Finn's body beside her, and the 2 dead thugs. The shock and grief were overwhelming. They buried Finn near their home, a simple grave marking the spot where he fell. Weeks later, in the dead of night, Arlen staggered through the door. His face was gaunt, his clothes torn and dirty. The children, waking to the noise, rushed to him, their relief and sorrow mingling as they explained what had happened. "I'm so sorry," Arlen whispered, tears in his eyes. "I never should have left you for so long." He told them of the expedition's fate, how a flying monster had carried him off to its nest, intending to feed him to its young. He had escaped only because they were still asleep. It had taken him weeks to find his way back, navigating through the treacherous terrain. "But there's hope," he said, pulling out a bag filled with shimmering crystals. "These are worth more than gold. They'll give us the strength to survive, to fight back." Arlen distributed the crystals, watching as the children consumed them, their bodies instantly energized. For the first time in months, they felt a glimmer of hope. As dawn broke, they stood together, looking out over the settlement. The future was still uncertain, but they had each other, and they had Arlen. In this harsh world, they were no longer alone, and with the power of the crystals, they had a fighting chance.